Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about why I stopped doing OMAD and why you should too. So before we begin, don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe. Don't forget to do all the good stuff. So let's jump right in. So what is OMAD? OMAD is having one meal a day. Let's say you're comfortable with around 3 p.m. having a meal at 3 p.m. So you'll be having a meal every day at 3 p.m. on one sitting. So one meal doesn't mean one plate. It means you can, if you maybe you're craving pizza and some chicken and milkshake, you can have all that in that one sitting. And when you're done eating, when you're full, you don't eat till the next day at 3 p.m. That's what I mean with OMAD. Now, I did lose 4 kgs through OMAD. Don't get me wrong, OMAD is good in a way, but it also has its negative sides. First, my first point, I wrote everything down so I don't forget. So because I'm in business and I want you to know what I went through, so before you get into OMAD, you need to know all these things. So one, you can't eat with your family. If you're a family person, doing OMAD is very tricky because we all know as a family, when you sit down to eat, it's usually a very intimate time for a family. You get to talk about how your day was, you get to talk about what you've been going through or what your plans are for tomorrow, so that you can at least let other people know how your schedule will be tomorrow or anything else like that. So not being able to sit down and eat with my family, even without all those as in talking, it's an intimate time on its own. So that for me was a no. Obviously I have a son and we only live the two of us, so I can let him just eat by himself. So that was my reason number one. My reason number two, food portioning was crazy. Like, I used sometimes to overeat and sometimes I used to undereat. I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna eat healthy, and I end up under eating, and I end up being hungry more sooner than the way I expected. Sometimes I tend to overeat. Maybe I eat at 3 and at 8 p.m. I'm still pretty full. And to me, that was like insane. I don't eat such amounts of food in a normal sitting, but for me, it was a bit off. So, yeah. So I decided, okay, this is not good for me. If you're good with eating a huge amount of food at once, then go for it. And also, I forgot to tell you, if you're living alone and you're thinking of trying OMAD, that's good because you don't have anyone else there who's gonna be like who's gonna make you feel like you're living out on match. Yeah. So number 3, obsessing over food. Now, let's say I ate at 3 p.m., right? And at 7 or 8 in the morning the following day, I'm pretty hungry, obviously. So I'll just take a cup of coffee, which is zero calories, that has no sugar and has no cream in it. Now, you start obsessing over what you're going to eat. Like, it's like a constant struggle. What am I going to have? You start planning early, and it gets to a point you're really obsessed about food. And that is not healthy for me, because when I start obsessing about food, I'm gonna start eating everything that's in sight. I don't know about you, but when I feel like I'm restricted, that's when I eat a lot. When I feel like everything is there and I can easily reach it, then I don't obsess over it. So me, just thinking about 3 p.m. is about to come, I'm gonna just obsess over food, and that was not healthy for me. So if you're someone who is just cool, you're chilled, 3 p.m. is gonna come, I'm just gonna eat whatever is there, you are good, you're good, and you're disciplined. Maybe not much discipline, but your body is not that demanding, so you're good to do OMAD. Yeah, now this one relates to the previous point, counting down the minutes. Like, literally, I used to stare at the clock and I'm like, this thing is not even moving. I'm very hungry. I could feel my tummy growling. I could hear it, like, it was a crazy time for me. I was feeling like, you know, it was like a rough time for me, and it was just a diet. So counting down the minutes for me didn't cut it for me. I was like, nope, not for me. So I decided, okay, enough is enough. And then number 5, eating time becomes too personal because of the amount of food you're having. So this one is quite funny. Obviously, when you're doing OMAD, when you sit down with your food and when you sit down with other people, they're gonna look at you like you're going crazy or something. All that food for one person, and that's why it becomes so personal. You can't even share it with anyone, not unless they're also doing OMAD, because people are gonna think, what's wrong with this person? For heaven's sake, she's a lady, she's supposed to act like a lady. Like, seriously. So for me, that amount of food eating in front of people was very challenging for me, and so I couldn't do it anymore. The other part, the worst part about OMAD, slow metabolism. Do you want me to repeat that? Slow metabolism. What does that mean? It means at the beginning, your body is used to having food to grind and all that, so you use up a lot of energy, and then all of a sudden there's no food, only once a day. And so the body was created to adjust to the environment. So what it does, it reduces the metabolism. Maybe you were burning 2,400 calories a day, and you start burning very less, considering how much you've been eating, and so at the beginning you lose weight, but as you progress, the weight sheds slowly. See how I said slowly? Because that's how it did to me, and I couldn't do it anymore. So it went very slowly. Yeah. And so it wasn't very fun. So that's why I ended up only losing 4 in my journey. Your body will always outsmart you, no matter what you try to do to it, not unless you try to outsmart it as well. So OMAD in general is a good idea. The concept is right, everything is right in terms of doing OMAD, because you can't eat that much in one sitting. But if you're a social person, outgoing person, you live with people, you love cooking like I do, you feel like you're very much restricted, and this is not for you. So that is why you should stop doing OMAD, because you can really spoil your metabolism. And before you work on before you bring your metabolism to where it was, it's gonna take time, and so you shouldn't do that. That is all I have for you today. So I'm gonna come back to you and tell you how I lost 10 kgs after gaining all the 4 kgs back after OMAD and gaining even more. And then I'm gonna come and tell you how I lost the 10 kgs and how I'm still losing weight in a very easy and simple way that you're gonna love, and you're gonna do it, and you're gonna just lose it. You're gonna lose the weight. I was 69.9, and now I am 58.5, and I'm still losing. How is that? Just stay tuned. Bye, y'all. Don't forget to like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Adios, guys.